Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Danielle Daily Show. I am so happy to be here with you today. I am greeting you with a smile, and my smile is actually going to be the topic of today's story. I have a great little story for you about what happened to me yesterday. As many of you know, after the show I was headed to the dentist, and some very interesting things happened to me while I was there, and so I wanted to share with you what happened and how it made me feel and what it is that kept me from letting that experience really drag me down. I have today's note to self for you, and I really want to hear what you guys have to say about perfection, about beauty, about self-confidence, and about self-worth, because I think this is a conversation that needs to be had in a larger venue, in a larger audience. I feel like there are so many of us who could really use a boost in our self-confidence, who could really use somebody telling us, hey, we are perfect just the way we are. And it's really not even about being perfect, but really we're beautiful and wonderful and amazing just the way we are. So like I said yesterday, after the show, I was on my way to the dentist and I was having my teeth cleaned, and I was at a new dentist. I hadn't actually been to this office before, and so I filled out all my paperwork, and it asked me on the paperwork, which I thought was a little bit odd, how would I rate my smile? And I rated my smile a 9 because it was a scale of 1 to 10. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. It looks like Tammy has joined us. Awesome. If you're here, let me know you're here. Jump in on the conversation at any point. So as I was filling out my paperwork before the appointment, there was a rating scale. I was supposed to rate my smile on a scale of 1 to 10. And I thought, well, for my smile to be a 10, it would probably have to have veneers, or I'd have no cavities ever in my life. I don't have any cavities currently, but I have fillings. So I thought my smile is a 9. I think my smile is beautiful. It makes other people happy. It looks great on my face, and I'm happy with it. So I rated my smile a 9, and as the intake person was going over my paperwork, she looked at me and she said, "You'd rate your smile a 9?" Just sort of like this sweet but questioning tone. And I thought that was a little bit odd, but I let it go, and I went through having my teeth clean and polished and felt really great, had them flossed, and just felt, I love going to the dentist because I love the feeling of freshly polished teeth. I know that makes me weird, but I love that feeling. And afterwards, once all the cleaning process was complete, and they'd kind of taken a look at my mouth, make sure it's all healthy, the woman started basically picking apart everything that was wrong with my smile and telling me, you have this overbite, and you have this deviated this much to the one side, and this tooth is not turned perfectly the way it should be, and you might want to consider having Invisalign. And I was just shocked because, one, I had rated my smile a 9, and there's nothing wrong with my mouth. Like, it was healthy, it was clean, I was cavity free. I hadn't expressed any discontent with the way that it appeared or how it felt. I had nothing to say other than, I'm excited to be here and have my teeth cleaned, and I rate my smile a 9. And I thought it was so fascinating how there was this sort of, I don't want to say preying upon people's insecurities, but definitely this knowledge that people are often insecure about the way that they look, and in that desire to, I hate to say exploit, but or even take advantage. What's the word I'm looking for? In order to utilize that, we'll be gentle, that I was basically given all the reasons that my smile doesn't measure up, and that it isn't perfect, and it's not textbook, straight and aligned, and all my teeth are not exactly where they should be. And it just made me feel really yucky that somebody talked to me that way. Tammy says sales pitch, and she also says she probably didn't like your confidence. And you could be right. I've certainly had people in my lifetime respond negatively to my confidence and try to poke holes in it. So that's always an interesting experience. But yeah, so that was my experience at the dentist, going to somebody who's an expert and expressing that I was perfectly happy with my God-given smile. I never did have braces. I'm very, very lucky. My mom likes to take credit for that, and she deserves it. And then having somebody tell me that what I had wasn't good enough and that I shouldn't be satisfied with it, and that I really should consider changing it. And you know, for somebody who has less of a sense of self-confidence and self-worth, I can imagine how that would cause somebody to decide that what they had wasn't good enough and to spend thousands of dollars. But beyond that, beyond like wasting money on things that you know, really there's nothing wrong with, it really bothered me, and it really bothered me not on behalf of myself, but on behalf of other people who maybe are not as secure and confident about who they are and what they like about themselves. Because somebody like a dentist is in a position of authority, and somebody like that, I would love to see them really lifting people up and expressing to people how beautiful their smile is and what a good job they're taking care of it, rather than trying to make them feel insecure about what isn't exactly textbook perfect. Elena says, what happened? No one better be harping on your glowing smile. Vince says, instill self-doubt to make you think about buying. Exactly. Very well said, Vince. And Elena says, hashtag jealous. You know, I love that. That's so sweet. So yeah, this idea of instilling self-doubt in us, I feel like is just all around us in our culture, especially when it comes to the way we look. And I really just wanted to talk about today how perfection is not beauty. Think about this. Really think about this. When you think of something that is perfectly symmetrical and even, let's just say, for example, a cube. A cube has its own, you know, perfection and beauty. It's the same on all sides and it's smooth and all things, but would you rather look at a cube or would you rather look at a flower, right? Would you rather look at a concrete building that is all perfectly even on both sides and is exactly the same and looks exactly the same as the concrete building next to it? Or would you rather look at something that is artistically done, right? This idea that perfection equals beauty is just so off base, and I really wanted to call that out so that more of us are thinking about the fact that perfection and beauty do not go hand in hand. They are not equivalent to one another. And I think that what is perfect is rarely beautiful, really. Something that is beautiful because it's unique, or it's amazing, or it's a little bit different. Looks like Tammy Keck says, some celebrities are especially beautiful because of their supposed imperfections. Amen to that. I remember years ago people saying that Angelina Jolie, her lips were too big, but really that is one of her most beautiful defining features, and something that really makes her stand out, and I bet it's something that she really loves about herself. So this idea that people try to instill doubt in us so that we'll buy things or so that we'll behave differently, it's a way that sort of society around us tries to control us. And so I wanted to challenge each of you to just be confident in who you are. Don't compare yourself to some imaginary standard of perfect, because what you already are and how you already look is better than perfect. You look like you. You are you. And who you are and how you look is beautiful, and it's amazing, and it's gorgeous, and it's what makes you you. And if all of us were perfect, we would all look the same. And how boring would that be? I mean, I don't want to walk around with a bunch of us all looking the same. I hope you don't either. And we all love to see different things, right? And so we need that variety in the world, and we need to all just come to a place where we don't let people who are supposedly, you know, experts or in authority make us doubt ourselves, make us doubt that what we have is good enough and that what we have is beautiful and amazing and unique just the way it is. I would love to be able to stand on a soapbox somewhere and just shout to the entire world that perfection is not beauty, and that each of us is worthy just the way we are, and that it's completely okay to be confident even if you're imperfect, to be confident in who you are and how you look even if you're not perfect, because perfection is a standard that none of us ever will meet, and quite frankly, I don't believe it's a standard we should ever try to meet. I don't believe that there is value in any of us being perfect. I feel like there is value in us being ourselves. There is value in us being beautiful from the inside out, and there is value in being loving and compassionate, but there is pretty much no value in being perfect. There just, in my opinion, there is not. So I hope that that was a helpful example for you. I know that those sorts of things come up in less in your face sort of ways, just in advertising, in commercials, in magazines. It's easy to compare your life to others, what you see on Facebook, and there's just so many ways that this idea of comparison to the perfect or the ideal comes up in our day-to-day lives. And so I want all of us to be more conscious of just really loving who we are, really loving what we have, and recognizing that it's beautiful and amazing, and that perfect is just pretty much irrelevant. Like, just throw it out. We don't need it. Tammy says, our uniqueness is what makes people beautiful. You're absolutely right. It is what makes us beautiful. Our perfection is not what makes us beautiful. It is absolutely our uniqueness. And really, what makes us beautiful is what comes from the inside out, right? So if you want to work on improving any part of yourself, work from the inside out. It will show. I can promise you. I could show you pictures of myself over the last 5 to 10 years, and you can see that as I've become a better and happier human being, I have brought more of that out into what I express to other people. My smile has gotten bigger. My eyes have become more open and happy looking. And I can't recommend doing what makes you feel good and becoming confident in who you are. Can't recommend that enough, because it absolutely shows on the outside. Maida says, I'm late again. Hi, Danielle. No worries, Maida. You can watch the replay. So we were just talking about how I went to the dentist yesterday after the show, and the dentist tried to tell me that my smile wasn't good enough because it wasn't perfect, and that I really should invest thousands of dollars in fixing it, even though functionally it was absolutely fine, but because it wasn't perfectly aligned, and because I have a slight overbite, and because she was in a position to make money off of me doubting myself and my own beauty and my own worth, she tried to plant those seeds in me, and I just wasn't having any of it. And I just wanted to remind everyone that perfection is not beauty, and not to let messages like that land in your head or land in your heart, because those have nothing to do with how amazing and beautiful you are, and they have everything to do with somebody standing to profit from you doubting your own worth and your own beauty. So have confidence in yourself. I have today's note to self for you. Are you guys ready to write it down? I think it's a good one. You've kind of already heard it. I already expressed it a great deal today, but I think this is a powerful one to write down. And this is one that I hope you will share with people in your life who, especially young people. It's really hard as we're growing up. It's harder now than ever to just understand that what makes us unique is what makes us amazing and what makes us beautiful. So if there's anybody in your life who is still really in that developing themselves as a person, like they're developing their identity, this is a wonderful note to self to share with them. Maida says, that must be a new thing with dentists. Mine, after many years, was trying to sell me braces that I don't need. Yeah, I seriously doubt that you need braces at this point. If your teeth are not tearing each other up by now, then they're probably functionally just fine. And just because they aren't perfect doesn't mean they aren't beautiful. All right, here is today's note to self. It says, Dear self, what is perfect is rarely beautiful. Love me. Let me read that to you again. It says, Dear self, what is perfect is rarely beautiful. So I am extremely imperfect. You guys are all imperfect too. I'm positive of it. And yet we are all beautiful, amazing people. And I want all of us to remember that. And I want us to make a commitment to remind other people of that too, and to notice the things about people that make them unique and beautiful, and to call those things out to them. That is what the world really needs right now. Leva says, "Hi Danielle," with a bright smile. Amber says, "Hi Danielle." Amber says, "What a fantastic note to self. Maybe one of the best you have ever written." Thank you. Thank you for that. I feel good about it. I feel like this is a really important message, that what is perfect is rarely beautiful. And I gave the example of, two buildings that look exactly alike, two concrete buildings that look exactly alike. Have you ever been on one of those like corporate campuses where all the buildings look exactly alike? Yeah, those aren't pretty, right? Those things are not beautiful. Those are not something we want to look at. Perfection is rarely a representation of beauty, and those things that make us unique and different are what make us beautiful. Remember, beauty comes from the inside out. I'll read you the note to self one more time. I really hope that you'll share it with somebody you care about. Remind people, especially those who are still forming their identity, that perfection does not equal beauty, and that if you can, find something that you find beautiful and amazing about them, and remind them that you appreciate that about them, and that you appreciate what makes them different, and help them build that confidence. Help those people who are still, in that youthful spot in life where they're still forming their identity. Help them to remember and to know and to learn that they are already amazing the way they are. So here it is. Dear self, what is perfect is rarely beautiful. I won't say never, because I'm sure that somebody would just prove me wrong, but I think that what is perfect is rarely beautiful, and what is unique is amazing and gorgeous, and that's what I want to look at. So that was today's Danielle Daily Show. I hope you found it helpful. I hope that you will share this message with somebody. Lacey says, "Great and important lesson to instill in Lacey. So much pressure for what the perfect look is in social media these days. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and I'd rather be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring." Marilyn Monroe. I love that. Gosh, I love Marilyn Monroe. That's a great quote. And Elena says, "Love, love, love the note to self. Bulletin board. Awesome. Yay." I always love it when something makes it onto Elena's bulletin board, because then I know that it was really important and that she'll be looking at it for a long time to come. Thank you so much for all the hearts today. Thank you for all the encouragements about my smile. I love my smile. It makes me happy when I see myself smiling in the mirror. I've definitely had people stop me and say that you have a beautiful smile, and I like to think that it makes people happy, and it's not because it's perfect. No one has ever said, "Your smile is so perfect, it makes me feel good inside." It's beautiful because it's imperfect and because it's mine, and I hope that you will remember that about yourself, that you are imperfect and that perfection is not the standard. Don't even worry about trying to meet perfection as the standard. All right, I will see you guys back here again tomorrow at the same time. Remember, the Danielle Daily Show happens every weekday at 3:00 p.m. Eastern. Connect with me through all the different social media channels you can. Those will all be in the show notes that I put in after the broadcast is over. The reason I ask you to do that is so that no matter which social media channel you happen to be on at the moment, there will be something positive from the Danielle Daily kind of smacking you in the face and reminding you to look at things positively, to stay focused, to love yourself, to love others. And so I encourage you to find me wherever you can: Instagram, Twitter. Obviously, we're all here together on Facebook already. I'm thinking about starting a Pinterest page. We'll see. But I love you guys. Don't forget, you can watch the replays on my YouTube channel, and I always provide the link to that as well. Check out the book. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for loving my smile. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting each other. It's amazing how you guys have ways of connecting with one another and supporting one another in the background. I love that. All right, I love you. I will see you tomorrow. Mwah. Bye.